Massive flooding creates massive headaches. Stonington's first selectman is here to tell us what kind of help his residents need. Also, Connecticut's Department of Environmental Protection has a new commissioner and a renewed mission. And the Yukon women are national champs again. So why are some down on their dominance? Hi, you're watching The Real Story. I'm Lori Perez. Homes flooded, roads ruined, bridges washed out, and millions down the drain following recent flooding in eastern Connecticut. Now the big question is federal help on the way? FEMA hit the ground this week in several flood-damaged towns to see the scenes and make assessments for themselves. Fox 61's Jim Altman takes us to Stonington.
The floods have left their mark all over eastern Connecticut, and now they need a flow of cash.
The dam broke and everything, so we're still concerned about, the bridge structurally.
Surveying the damage today in Stonington, FEMA teams.
We take a quick drive.
Okay, they're looking at both public and residential properties and reviewing what are called PDAs.
A PDA is a preliminary disaster assessment, and what they do is residents and also businesses fill out a form to discuss the structural issues and disaster information that they have. What they'll do is compile this so that Governor Rell can send a declaration to the president to be able to bring in some federal money here. For New London County, we have to at least have over $857,000, and for the state, it's over $4 million, and I think easily we've surpassed that.
This is one of 5 FEMA teams surveying the state today, and typically a team has about 3 or 4 members.
So the water's still high.
We're in Stonington, North Stonington. We're in Norwich, we're in Plainfield, and we're in Griswold.
This section was gone.
Literally hoping for a road to recovery is John Groton, whose life has taken a detour since the bridge by his house washed out. I've never done an interview like this before, but John, we have no choice, right?
We have no choice. I am not a long-distance jumper.
And John says the FEMA visit seems like a good first step.
At a minimum, of course, we're going to have a road that will be replaced, and it's my hope and it's my goal that the stonework of this bridge will be restored as best as possible to its original form and shape.
We're here to support the state, so we're here today, tomorrow, as long as it takes.
In Stonington, Jim Altman, Fox 61 News.
Stonington's first selectman, Ed Haberecht, joins us to talk about the damage and the perhaps daunting task of repair. Also, Fox Connecticut reporter Jim Altman, who was at the heart of the flooding. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you very much.
Ed, if you could, let's start off with how many of your businesses and residents have damage? How extensive?
We have an extensive amount of damages that has happened to our residents. We have some residents that have basically lost all their home right now, people that have lost cars. We have businesses, especially on a bridge now at the Pawcatuck River, that have been closed for over a week. And again, it's a very disastrous situation for them. We've had an enormous amount of cleanup, and residents have come to me all over town and just some of the horrible stories that they've gone through with the disaster of this flooding.
And what are right now your biggest areas of concern?
Really, my biggest area right now is twofold. One is the Pawcatuck River. We have a bridge still out there, which is a main artery to the state of Rhode Island. We also have the Stillman Avenue Bridge, which is another bridge that's very close by that also is out right now. So there's a very large detour for people to be able to go to the Rhode Island border.
And that's the bridge that connects Stonington with Westerly,
exactly,
correct?
Exactly. And that's been out, no pedestrians or traffic. Connecticut DOT has restricted, and they have the authority of the bridge, so it is closed right now. Divers are working on that. And also the 184 bridge, which was totally washed away, as some of the pictures have been seen by people on the network, that it's just awful what's happened. And again, it's cut us off from the town of Groton.
So you are looking for help from FEMA, but you need a declaration from the state.
Correct.
And how will that exactly help you in terms of getting things done?
What it will do then is open up the federal opportunities for our residents. Right now, we're awaiting the declaration, and after the declaration is then provided with President Obama signing it, it will then allow that FEMA can then come in, hopefully set up a satellite office, be able to provide a number of federal assistance to our residents and to our businesses right now, and again, help us be able to get back on our feet to restore our town.
So we were there this week. What are your initial reactions to this week's FEMA visit?
I think it was very, very positive, very encouraging. They came and saw some of the most difficult areas. They saw the impact of our municipal infrastructure losses. They also spent time with a number of residents and businesses and really saw the emotional destruction that's happened with a number of them too, and also the physical destruction in their homes.
You talk about the residents, Ed. Let's talk about the people that you live with every day, that you've known. You've been in Stonington your whole life. What is the overall temperament? Is it resilient? Is it depressed, as you might imagine? A lot of people have lost a lot of money.
We do have I mean, of course, our residents are resilient, and they have been tremendous community effort. I mean, from our fire departments, our town employees, from the police, all our first responders, plus the community itself, helping each other out with various assistance. But again, they're devastated, and again, it's concern, because we want to make sure that we can be able to get the monetary resources to be able to build people back. As an example, we have over 184 tons of flood debris that has gone into. I waived all the fees for our solid waste landfill, and I kept it open through Easter, through this whole week, and it's just been unbelievable, the amount of losses of homes and cars and the amount of appliances that have been lost. So our residents have very much been devastated and look forward to federal assistance.
But then there are impacts that we haven't even begun to see yet. I mean, this is the season. People are starting to think about heading to the shore. People take day trips or what have you. I mean, what are your concerns about the lingering impact and how that might affect business throughout the summer? Yeah,
this is, again, it hit at the worst time. A lot of businesses now, especially in our Mystic area and also especially in our Pawcatuck area, are preparing for the tourists to come. And just as they're starting to ramp up and get prepared with the beautiful weather, this comes and, again, has closed them down. So there's a number of businesses, again, that are in those particular areas where tourism visits that are, again, can't open and don't know really till the arteries and bridges are able to open in our area.
Are you regularly meeting now with town officials from Groton, Old Mystic, yep, Westerly? You're in touch with all of them, obviously?
Yeah, we've been in constant contact. As you know, Westerly, Rhode Island is even more devastated. Right. Governor Carcieri, who I had the pleasure of meeting with, also with Governor Rell, basically declared a disaster emergency right away. And the amount of people that are displaced is just enormous on that side of the river. So we talk a great deal. We talk with Groton and also Ledyard and North Stonington, who's also received a number of disaster issues with bridges there too.
You were mentioning that you're keeping an eye also on some of the environmental impacts, yes, that you might face. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we're very concerned because the amount of water that came down in the watershed of both of the Mystic and Pawcatuck River was enormous, and the debris that came down between propane tanks and gas grills, fuel tanks, and even Bradford Dye Association, which is a very large chemical company, is completely underwater, and all the chemicals. So we're very concerned about the environmental impact of that. We've been in touch with DEP, and we're concerned because there's a small sheen that seems to be out at the mouth of the Pawcatuck River. But we look forward to, again, working on that as the infrastructure starts to open up.
The DEP commissioner is the next guest, so
yes,
that might be convenient for you.
It's very convenient that we're able to discuss that.
Have you had damage this extensive? I mean, before, so you have some sort of a plan in place, or?
Yeah, we have an emergency operations plan, and it worked out very, very well. Last year, as you know, we also had a very bad flooding, and we had an assessment right after that. Again, worked on some best practices and improvements, and I feel that we've done an excellent job with communication with the residents. But this type of magnitude has been unheard of. There's people that are, again, my grandfather's age that just say they've never, ever seen the amount of water that has come through. People have never had basements that had any water, had an unprecedented amount of flooding.
You've never seen anything like this?
I've never seen anything like this either. The river at the Pawcatuck River and also Old Mystic, the amount of water that came through there was unheard of. And again, so many people have really been impacted disastrous through this situation.
Do you think that those areas like Old Mystic are going to be able to rebound and get up for the summer season?
I really hope so. I've been in touch with our congressional and also our federal officials discussing. One of the things that I'm looking forward to is I'd like to see that they're working on a community development block grant that is we're trying to do to maneuver that to help through the municipalities to help the businesses, because I really think that even though loans are offered to some businesses through SBA, we really need to have direct financial assistance to them because the economy has been tough enough on them already.
Right.
We've been down there a lot of times to the whole area, the Fox 61 News crews. But was yesterday or this week the first time that the divers actually got a chance to go into that water? Because that water has been rushing.
Yeah, the water's unprecedented. It was at a 500-year flood level when the middle of the disaster happened, and now it's only down to a 25-year flood level. So it is rather still high. They were able to get on the edges where the abutments are, but they still are not able to get underwater into under the bridge to see the impact of it. So this has been the first time yesterday that when you were able to cover it that the divers have been able to get down there.
Well, what did they see?
They saw some exposure in a certain part of the east abutment. They also have seen a lot of scouring that's happening to the bridge and a lot of debris that's going through that bridge. So they feel the overall structure is rather good, but the concern is about the abutments on the Pawcatuck side and also on the westerly side. It's amazing the amount of scour and erosion that's happened through the churning of the water from this amount of magnitude.
All right. Well, Ed, thanks for joining us. We wish you good luck. You guys are going to need it. Thanks again to Stonington's First Selectman Ed Habereck and to Fox Connecticut reporter Jim Altman. Now up next, Connecticut's new DEP head is a former elected official. We're going to ask how that might help her run the department, the budget, and of course, help the environment.